You know that building a business is a very difficult task, but if you research the right industries, you are much more likely to succeed. Therefore, our team worked to bring you important information, whether to invest in stocks or even start a business. Watch this video until the end because we are sure that the last sector will surprise you. And don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel. This simple gesture allows us at Think Bigger channel to continue producing quality free content. Today, we're going to talk about the 6 economic sectors most likely to make us millionaires. Number 1. The financial services sector. The idea here is that everybody deals with money. Today, more than ever, there is an awareness of how we should take care of our money. Opening an account with stockbrokers, hiring investment advisors, financial advisors, innovative companies immersed in this ecosystem are likely to generate a lot of value for their shareholders and even for disruptive entrepreneurs who want to enter this market. And here, I don't say it's exclusively for companies that will provide financial services directly. It can also be companies that provide services to companies that are in the financial segment, such as software companies that create exclusive platforms for financial institutions to work. Companies with this type of expertise will be companies that are likely to achieve high results in the long term. Number 2. Sector that could possibly make us millionaires is the technology sector, and we understand technology as the sector of disruption. Today, more and more we are served by robots. We know initiatives like Boston Dynamics in the United States that have robots that truly look like animals. So companies in this sector of robotics and artificial intelligence, machine learning, and automation are all companies that will probably have a high return in the long term. Number 3 sector is the health sector. Because every year that passes by, the human being is living longer naturally. That is, the access we have to medicine ends up getting cheaper and our quality of life increases over time. It makes people more willing to pay more to live longer than sectors related to drug development, pharmaceutical industry, services for the elderly. All of this here will certainly be something that will grow in the long term, and an area that could possibly grow a lot in the future is, for example, knowledge related to genetic manipulation. You can solve a newborn's illness by directly altering its DNA. There is still a lot of debate about whether this type of thing is ethical or not because it creates an outlet just for you. For example, to be able to choose how your child will look by the same method of genetic manipulation. If you want him to have blue eyes, curly hair, and inclined or not to bodybuilding and a very high intelligence. In the future, this ethical impasse will likely be resolved and we will be implementing genetic manipulation in some way. Number 4 is education. We know that internet access has brought the world closer to you. Globalization is a reality for everyone who wants to learn something. You can have access to basically any information in the world at your fingertips, but this is very dispersed. Sometimes when you want to look for something and digging into the subject, you find a video on YouTube, a blog article somewhere else. This ends up creating discomfort for many people. The lack of organized content that they can consume step by step. What is missing is someone taking the users by hand and guiding them all the way. That's why, for example, companies and people who start selling digital products as courses will grow a lot in this market. Number 5 is transport and logistics. And I'm not just talking about packaging, stocking, and shipping products. This is also a part of it. But when you look at initiatives such as Amazon's, which is still testing drones to take products to its customers' homes, you see that there is a long way to go. Our logistics ecosystem needs to develop itself more until it reaches its optimal shape. We need the optimization of our logistics network, which will allow your company to be able to deliver a product on the same day to another person who buys this product online. This will be a differential that will be very relevant for the company operating in this segment. Number 6 is energy. This one is probably the most promising of all on this list because we know that from the moment that the extraction of fossil fuels, such as oil, natural gas, ends up being faster than the process that leads them to be created, which is millions of years. Someday these reserves will run out, and we know that this can happen in 500 or 1,000 years. But the problem is that if we continue to use fossil fuels at the same rate as we do today, we won't have a world to end these reserves at. So sustainable energy is something we need. That's why we see companies like Tesla Motors growing in value practically 1,000% from 2019 onwards. This is a heated market that will not only be a big one in the future, but will also be essential for our humanity to have a future. So innovative initiatives to reduce the carbon footprint in order to make companies use less water and heat less seawater, all of these will be things with high growth potential in the future. Before we talk about the 7th sector, leave it in the comments. Do you invest in any of these sectors? Do you want to build a business in any of these previous sectors? And if you've made it this far, click the subscribe button. It is very important for us to know if you are enjoying our content. Number 7 is finally food. Today, we live in a world of 7 billion people, with the possibility of 2025 reaching 8 billion. In 2050, it will be 10 billion people. In order to feed this many people, the industry needs to innovate. This will happen through the optimization of food cultivation processes to increase the productivity of land. This may happen through the creation of new technologies which make the soil more fertile, through chemical components, or even through the genetic manipulation of foods, such as transgenics. There is still a lot of stigma regarding the use of transgenics because they say that the effects of transgenics can have on our lives are unknown. But if you go to the core of the matter, transgenics is nothing more than some food that human beings have altered genes for to grow faster, so it can produce more succulent fruits. It is basically to shorten the process of natural selection that is being done. There is no evidence that transgenic food harms us, and there is no reason why we would need to believe that this is true. Thank you so much, guys. We're also on Instagram at thinkbigger.tv. To the next, and don't forget, think bigger.